You hear the garage door open and your stomach just drops. Not butterflies, it's cortisol. You start scanning the room, checking the sink, checking her face, trying to figure out if you're getting the sweet version today or the one who screams because you bought the wrong brand of almond milk. That isn't passion, it's hypervigilance. And honestly, if you're constantly recalibrating your behavior just to avoid an explosion, you aren't a partner anymore, you're a hostage. If that hit too close, you're in the right place. This is Deep Desire, where we break down the psychology of relationships most people are too afraid to name. Subscribe if you're done pretending everything's fine. You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. Monday, she's all over you, texting nonstop, sending memes, acting like you're the only guy on earth. Then Wednesday hits, radio silence. Or worse, you get those dry, soul-crushing one-word texts. K, fine. And honestly, it drives you insane because you didn't change anything, she did. But here's the part that actually wrecks your head. By Friday, she's back, warm, affectionate, acting like that weird freeze-out never happened. And I know some of you in the comments are going to say, just ask her about it, bro. But you don't. You almost do, right? You have the text typed out, but you delete it. Why? Because you're just so relieved the good version of her is back that you don't want to rock the boat. That relief is actually a chemical trap. In the field, we call this intermittent reinforcement. It's literal gambling psychology. Your brain gets hooked not on the reward, but on the unpredictability of the reward. It keeps you chasing. It keeps you off balance. And frankly, whether she's doing it consciously or it's just her attachment style acting up, the result is that you are addicted to the anxiety. You know that specific feeling, the one where you're technically right, but you somehow end up apologizing anyway? That isn't just you losing an argument. It's usually a mechanism at play. Think about it. She shows up 40 minutes late. It's not, I'm sorry. It's the traffic. It's her boss. It's, well, honestly, she acts like it's your fault for picking a restaurant on the other side of town. And I know a lot of you guys watching are just exhausted. It feels easier to just nod and say, yeah, my bad. You absorb it to keep the peace. But here's the thing, and this is critical. Psychologists actually have a name for this specific head game. It's called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It is a literal spin move for the ego. You bring up a legitimate hurt, like, hey, you flaked on me, and she hits back with, wow, so I can't have a bad day? You're so controlling. See the flip? Suddenly, you're not the guy with the grievance anymore. You're the villain. And if she can't own the small stuff, she's never going to own the big stuff. You know that feeling when your phone buzzes. Maybe it's your best friend or your brother. And for a split second, you're excited. But then the math starts. You start calculating the emotional tax of actually saying yes. Because she's already planted those seeds, hasn't she? Dave is so immature, or your mom just doesn't get us. And honestly, you believe her at first. It feels like she just wants you all to herself, like it's deep intimacy. But 6 months in, look around. Your world has shrunk to the size of a one-bedroom apartment. Here is the brutal truth about isolation psychology that gets ignored. She isn't trying to keep you close. She is trying to break your mirror. Your friends, your family, they are the ones who remind you of who you actually are. They're your reality check. If she cuts the line to the outside world, her version of reality becomes the only reality. I know some of you want to defend it as passion, but let's be real. You thought she was building a home with you? No, she was building a cage. You know that specific gut feeling?
The one where you've been seeing her for, what, 6 months? You're doing all the boyfriend stuff, paying for dinner, staying over on weekends, but she physically recoils if you try to define it. She hits you with that classic, "Why do we have to complicate things with labels?" And honestly, part of you probably thinks you're just being needy. You convince yourself to just go with the flow to avoid scaring her off. But stop for a second. You aren't crazy. You are likely dealing with a severe avoidant attachment style. And I know some of you are going to comment, "She just doesn't like you, bro." But it is actually more complex than that. She likely craves the intimacy, but her nervous system perceives expectation as a cage, so she keeps you in this perpetual gray area to regulate her own safety. The problem is, while she feels safe with one foot out the door, it drives you into a state of hypervigilance. You're scanning every text tone. You're walking on eggshells. Here is the hard truth I need you to hear. If you are confused, it's not because she's complicated, it's because she's unavailable. The ambiguity isn't a puzzle for you to solve, it is the answer.
Honestly, this next one is where things get really dark. It's what I call the reality edit. You know exactly what happened. You were there, right? You remember the words. But then she looks you dead in the eye, totally calm, and says, "I never said that. You're making things up." And here is the kicker. She says it with so much conviction that you actually pause. You stop trusting your own gut. I bet some of you watching this have even scrolled back through months of text messages just to prove to yourself that you aren't going crazy. That hesitation, that isn't just a communication issue, it's psychological warfare. It slowly erodes your ability to trust your own mind until you're just existing, a shell. Because walking on eggshells isn't love, guys. It's control. See, the guys who truly get this, they don't stick around hoping for a personality transplant. They just stop. And I know, right now your brain is probably screaming, "But if I just explain my side one more time, she'll finally get it." No. Stop hyper-rationalizing the chaos. When you see that cyclic pattern, you don't beg for clarity. You walk. Not because you're quitting, but because you finally realized those red flags aren't shit tests designed to see if you're tough enough. They're exit ramps. She is showing you her baseline reality. Do yourself a favor and believe her. If hearing that made your stomach drop, good. Seriously, it means you know the dynamic is broken. But here's the part nobody talks about. When you actually pull back, she panics. The next video explains that exact psychological shift. Most guys fold when the guilt trip starts, but honestly, I think you're ready for the truth. And if you recognized yourself in that, welcome to deep desire. We don't sugarcoat, we don't make excuses, we tell the truth. Subscribe.